Okay, so here's the thing with how to make a vlog. There's no definitive guide, there's no rule book, there's no blanket statements, there's no do these things and you will make successful vlogs that everybody loves that are tons of fun. That doesn't exist. It solely depends on you.
4 years ago, when I first started my YouTube channel, there was one channel in particular that I took a lot of education and inspiration and entertainment from as well, and that was Peter McKinnon. And so in this video, I'm gonna share the 9 lessons that I've learned from Peter McKinnon and his YouTube channel over the last 4 years. Let's get into it. When I was first starting out my YouTube channel and I was thinking about the idea of vlogging, I kind of thought that, okay, well, maybe my life isn't interesting enough. Like, you know, I'm a medical student right now and it's all a bit samey and maybe I can make a vlog here and there, but why would anyone really care what I'm doing with my life? It's not like I'm doing exciting things all the time. And I had this thought process for quite a while until I saw Peter McKinnon's video called How to Vlog. And this is what he said in that video.
Your personality is more important than doing fun things like jumping out of a plane or doing fun things like ripping a Lamborghini around a racetrack in Monaco. Those are all awesome things to do and they make great vlog content. But you take the person out of that situation that is the vlogger, you take the vlogger out of those fun scenarios and all you have is just an emotionless commercial that you just flip through on TV. So the giant misconception that I feel is people don't want to start vlogs because they think to themselves, I don't have an interesting enough life to vlog. I don't do fun things like that. I don't travel. I live in the middle of nowhere. But those are all things that do not matter because you are the story. That's point number 1. You're the story.
And I return to this video many, many times each year because anytime I'm having a bit of like imposter syndrome around YouTube or thinking, oh, you know, I'm not interesting enough to make videos about myself, I just go back to that video and I think, yeah, you know what, you're right. You are the story, and it kind of makes me more okay with putting myself out there. So thank you, Peter, for that one. Lesson number 2 is to be your unapologetically weird self. Now, whenever I watch any of Peter's videos, like one of the things that's really obvious is just how much personality and charisma he exudes. In the early days, he would have his like canned intros like, what's up everyone, Peter McKinnon here, welcome back to another video.
What's up everybody? Today, we're talking about how to make objects look like they're floating.
He would include coffee, he would just do silly kind of fun things on camera. And it was just a sort of approach to YouTube that I hadn't really seen because I'd been watching the occasional like photo video tutorial YouTube channel for a few years at that point, but none of them really had like personality and they were all just like, you know, playing it straight up the line rather than just being weird. And seeing how Peter's weirdness was like, you know, accepted and loved by the audience made me more okay with being weird on camera. And so when I started my YouTube channel, in my first few videos, I was very stilted and very formal and thinking that I had to give a presentation. But then over time, as I got more comfortable with it, I started being more okay with just being weird on camera. And I found that anytime I would present or exaggerate one of my own personality quirks, the audience, like you guys, would pick up on that. And that, I think, was part of what made this channel go well in the early days and hopefully what continues to make it go reasonably okay. The other thing as well is that seeing Peter's channel and the amount of charisma he exuded on camera made me kind of internally think that I want to be the Peter McKinnon of medical school. That was my kind of thought process. I want to be the Peter McKinnon of medical school. And one thing that Austin Kleon says in this book, Steal Like an Artist, which is very good, is that when you're first learning a craft like YouTubing, for example, you actually learn by imitating other people in the first instance. And the way I think of it is that like my failure to become like Peter or to be like Peter McKinnon is what made me evolve into the kind of personality, like camera personality that I now have. It's like my way of trying to be the Peter McKinnon of medical school, which is what the aim was 4 years ago.
Share what you love. Aside the fact that you're making your life the story, you gotta share the things that you love because those become integral parts to the story that you're telling through your vlog. I'm just trying to get you guys over that hump that a lot of people don't even begin to vlog because of that barrier of, I don't have an interesting life, but you do. You're the story. Share what you love.
And that was another excerpt from his How to Vlog video, but that's another thing that I've really taken away from Peter, not just from that video, but his channel as a whole, is that he's very open with sharing the things that he loves, whether that's his tattoos, recently, or he'll like what's in his pockets or what's in his wallet or like what iPhone apps he uses or what editing techniques he uses or what coffee he likes or what camera gear he uses. It's like, you can really tell that he is sharing the stuff that he loves and that like love kind of comes across on camera. And so this is something that I've been trying to do with my stuff as well over the last 4 years, just to kind of unapologetically share the things that I love, whether it's my love of Notion or my love of listening to things at double speed regardless of what people say, or these are the sort of desk accessories that I like, this is the fancy keyboard that I like using. This is the stuff that I personally love, and so I try my best to share it on the channel. And these days when I coach other YouTubers in my part-time YouTuber Academy, that's a thing that we always try and help them to remember, is that the point of making YouTube videos is to share what you love, and so yeah, go for it. Lesson number 4 is that you don't have to be what other people are telling you to be, you can be who you want. And like with me, when I kind of started YouTube, I was very much a kind of medical school-esque based YouTuber, where basically all the questions I'd be getting were, how do I get into med school? And you know, how does this work in med school and that sort of stuff. And then over time, I sort of branched out into being like study content and then productivity content. And in a way, like over time, I sort of felt confined in this box of being, I don't know, a productivity or like effective studying type person. And if I'd make a vlog that was just about my life or a video about something else, I would get comments being like, okay, this is cool, but where's the study stuff? I want more study related content. And in my head, I was thinking that, oh crap, you know, what if the only thing people are following my channel for is for study themed content? And I've been making this content for 2 years, and I've got like 2 5-hour-long classes on Skillshare where I explain study techniques in depth. What more do people want? And I was really worried that what if the only content I'm allowed to make from now and forever is like study themed content? But then around 18 months ago, another Peter McKinnon video came out, and this is what he had to say.
But one of the things I love doing is uploading a myriad of different types of videos. You'll notice we just put out a video about wallets. A lot of people might say like, dude, you talking about EDC stuff a lot. You're talking about what's in your pockets and pocket knives and wallets. Like, where the tutorials go, man? Like, I thought this was a photo channel. And it still is. There's hundreds of photo tutorials that you can go back and look through, and it's my roots, and I'm never gonna stop doing that. But I think not to clear things up, but just to, I don't know, maybe even give permission to other people that are going through the same thing that I go through. You create whatever you want. This is the Peter McKinnon channel. So sometimes you're gonna find stuff about wallets. You're gonna find a tutorial on how to make coffee. It's gonna be a tutorial on how to do a cinematograph. It's gonna be a vlog with Casey, a vlog with Maddie, a vlog with Holiday, snowboarding, jet ski, walking my dogs, cleaning my garage. It's just gonna be a myriad of things that are me, because this is my channel. This is what I do here. And I don't think you should ever put a limit on your creativity. I don't think you should ever just set parameters, set rules saying, I can only make this. I've tried to live by that my entire life.
And I can remember first watching this video where Peter said all that stuff, and I was like, oh my God, he's like articulating all the things that I've been feeling with my own channel. And in a way, that video weirdly gave me permission to be okay with exploring other themes on this channel that aren't necessarily related to productivity. And that video made me more okay with just doing videos where I just sit down and talk about my feelings and that kind of stuff. And some people seem to like those videos, some people don't, but that's fine. The point is, it's my channel, I can do what I want, and I'm gonna make the stuff that I like. So thanks, Peter, for, in a way, giving me permission to do that. Lesson number 5 is like all the basic videography, photography, lighting, sound, camera type stuff I basically learned from Peter McKinnon and other videos that I saw, suggested videos from his. And when I first got started, I had absolutely no idea with the lighting in particular, but I remember there was this one video that Peter made like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, where he converted his like terrible lighting setup into like something that looked pretty good for less than $50. And that taught me so much about the principles of lighting, and then I applied that to my channel moving forward.
Talking about this horrible lighting situation and how to make it look like this for less than 50 bucks.
My entire YouTube filming setup as well, like with this light, the camera, the microphone, everything is all kind of based on his earlier videos where he talked about his YouTube filming setup. And it's one of those weird things whereby, you know, just as a creator, like Peter McKinnon, just like documenting the thing that he was doing, like millions of people have now seen those videos, and we've all based our YouTube setups off of what he was doing. And now I see other YouTubers, especially like medical school YouTubers, who seem to be basing a lot of their stuff around what I've been doing and what I've been documenting. And it's kind of nice that this sort of cycle continues, and you know, you learn from people, then you do the thing, and then other people learn from you. And it's just all very nice and wholesome all around. Lesson number 6 is in terms of aesthetics. Now, I really like the aesthetics on Peter McKinnon's channel, but I think around 2 years ago, he did a collaboration with Becky and Chris, which fast became one of my favorite YouTube channels, and their branding and aesthetics is just absolutely amazing. They're a really great channel that I still follow to this day. Becky is like a photographer and an interior designer. Chris is actually an interventional radiologist, so like a real life doctor who works as a doctor. So that was kind of cool. But just everything about their videos is so professionally done, and the interior design is amazing, and the lighting and the design, it's just so cool. And so anytime I need like aesthetic design inspiration, partly I look to Peter McKinnon, but mostly I look towards Becky and Chris for being like the gold standard of production value, at least in my eyes. Lesson number 7 is that building an audience who know, like, and trust you is an incredible thing. And I remember, I think this was over a year ago, or around about a year ago, when Peter dropped his $500 camera bag. Like, he released this camera bag in collaboration with Nomadic, I think. And I remember as soon as I saw that video where I was like, oh my God, Peter McKinnon's made a camera bag, I immediately backed it on Kickstarter and just dropped like $600-700 on it. And it was a really weird feeling because in a way, I felt grateful to him for giving me the opportunity to support him by buying something from him. And that was just completely bizarre. Like, I've never had that feeling with anyone before where, you know, I just have so much goodwill and love towards a creator for helping me out so much that when they release a product, I'm like, oh my God, you know, you're doing me a favor by letting me buy this from you. And, you know, since COVID, I haven't used that bag once, but it's, you know, under my bed, and I'm really glad that I have it. I've got his, you know, ND special Polar Mist ND filters as well, which again, I rarely use because I rarely go out thanks to the pandemic. But again, it's nice to be able to support a kind of fellow creator and someone that I look up to. And I often think about that feeling whenever I worry about selling stuff. Like if I'm selling a course or putting a class on Skillshare, I wonder that, oh, you know, what if I, will people think I'm a sellout for like charging money for something? Then I think back to how I felt when Peter McKinnon was charging money for something. And sure, maybe some people will think he's a sellout for doing it, but I didn't, and that's what matters. And so yeah, the power of building an audience that know, like, and trust you. Lesson number 8 is that good stuff takes a lot of effort. And I remember, like, anytime I watch one of Peter's Instagram videos where he talks about kind of how he shoots and edits things for Instagram, I'm always completely amazed as to just the amount of effort that goes into all of these individual photos, where he'll spend like half an hour shooting hundreds of shots for a single flat lay image for Instagram and then editing it for another half an hour to make it look perfect, adding in elements. And I think when you're scrolling through, at least for me, when I'm scrolling through a photographer's Instagram account, it's really hard to appreciate the amount of effort that goes into each of those photos. I look at those photos and I think, wow, that's a great photo. But seeing the behind the scenes of the amount of effort that went into it made me appreciate that every good thing in life takes a lot of effort. And so rather than trying to find shortcuts or, hey, how can I streamline my YouTube production process so much that it becomes so easy to make videos? You know, as tempted as I am to go down that route, instead I think about that and think, okay, how can I put even more effort into my videos to make them as good as they can possibly be?
If we had to make a 4th point overall, I would say forget everything else and just remember to have a good time. Right? Sharing should be fun. Sharing the skills you have to help other people, sharing your own passions, sharing the relationships that you have in your life, and comedy and humor and sad moments and fun moments, and taking people on a ride, just like a movie or a TV show. It should be fun. It should be fun to make, it should be fun to shoot, it should be fun to share. And if any of those things are not happening, something is not working and you need to correct it.
So with the image that I have among some people of being some kind of productivity guru, I always get asked the question, you know, how are you so productive? And the real answer to that question is just that I enjoy what I'm doing for the most part. Like, I try my very best to enjoy the journey in anything that I'm doing, whether it's studying for an exam or getting through med school or like working as a doctor or putting in a cannula or making YouTube videos or doing my website. I try my best to enjoy the journey. And I think this is a really, really, really important point, because for me, I've occasionally had moments where I've forgotten to enjoy the journey. I've forgotten that this is supposed to be fun. Writing my book, for example, these days, like, you know, I had a period a few weeks ago where I'd forgotten that it was supposed to be fun. And so I let all the stress and anxiety and pressure around expectations and outcomes, I let that all build up in my head. And I just really wasn't enjoying the process. And then when my housemate reminded me that, you know, you're supposed to be having fun doing this, that was when I was like, oh my God, yeah, you're right. This is supposed to be fun. And I often find that anytime I feel like I'm not enjoying something, or I feel like I'm stressed out, or that something feels like a chore, or that, you know, I've got this goal that I'm struggling to reach, if I remind myself that just remember to have fun. Remember that this is supposed to be fun. Remember that the only reason I'm doing this is because it's fun. Remember to enjoy the journey. And the cool thing is that, at least for me, when I'm having fun doing something, I'm actually just more productive by default. So yeah, thanks Peter for this lesson as well. Remember to enjoy the journey. It's all about having fun. Making videos is supposed to be fun. And if it becomes not fun for very long, then you know that something is wrong. If you like this video and you're thinking of starting on your own YouTube journey, or maybe leveling up whatever hobby you're trying to do, check out this video over here, which is my 10 top tips for aspiring YouTubers. Huge thank you again to Peter for being an ongoing inspiration for us all. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.